Hey guys, it's Christylize, and welcome back to another episode of the Legend Survival Class Breakdown Series. If you've missed the previous classes, you'll be able to access the playlist in the description. I'll also put a little placeholder in the top right of the screen so you guys can access it there. Today we're going to be talking about the most anticipated class in the community so far. Everyone has been asking for this one, and so without further ado, let's talk about the Artisan. The Artisan is the other skiller on the Legend Survival Season 1 roster, and he definitely has a very interesting kit. In terms of the different archetypes across Legend Survival, the Artisan falls strictly into the skiller class. It is one of the few legends that is, in my opinion, very self-sufficient. This is a really good class to consider for a smaller Legends roster. If you're only playing with about 2 to 3 people, then Artisan is definitely a good choice, but to each their own. My inspiration for the Artisan class actually came from an anime, Rising of the Shield Hero. The main character, Naofumi, pretty much everything that the Artisan can do, Naofumi has access to, and he's just also a badass character, so I wanted that sort of feeling to be implemented in Legends Survival. Let's go over some of the passive bonuses for the Artisan. The Artisan receives free adjacent chunks that contain mining areas and anvils. These free chunks do not count towards tertiary unlocks. The Artisan has the ability to complete Druidic Ritual and Rune Mysteries whenever the chunks are available, in the same sense that the Scout is able to do that with Druidic Ritual. Now let's talk about the token for the Artisan real quick. The Renown token is the only token in Legend Survival that is not giftable to your teammates, and for good reason, because it's very powerful. During the chunk unlock phase, select an unlocked chunk containing a general store. You may choose 3 chunks in a 3x3 grid to unlock, where the general store is the center. You can only use 1 renown token per unlock phase, and again, this token cannot be gifted to teammates. This was one of the first abilities that we tuned during the beta test. The renown token used to be choose 5 chunks within a 7x7 grid. Obviously, that's why it's important to test things before you post it, because clearly a 7x7 grid and 5 free chunks would have been uber powerful, but I really think that the tuning down to the 3x3 grid and selecting 3 chunks inside of it puts the Artisan in a much better place. Let's talk about some of the skills that are available to you while playing on the Artisan. The main skills include crafting, mining, smithing, and construction. The tertiary skills include herblore and rune crafting. You'll notice here that the Artisan has only 6 skills in total, including its tertiary skills. This is intentional. Main reason being is that the more skills you have on a skiller, the harder it's going to be for you to complete chunks, and the more grind it's going to take for you to start ramping up towards completing chunks and unlocking your tertiary skills. The idea behind Artisan having these 4 main skills is that these particular skills don't have very hard tasks to complete early on. It also allows you, whenever you're rolling your starting chunk, to be able to get either on or very close to a chunk that has a mining patch in it, which is super useful to have early game. Mining is a really chill skill. It's not too slow to get up early game. So that was the intention behind having mining as one of the main skills, and obviously smithing goes hand in hand with that. Crafting is essential for the Artisan and is the only legend in the game mode that has crafting as a main skill, so that will be your most useful aspect in team play, to be able to help give jewelry to your combat specialists, to your skillers, help them get around the map quickly. The synergy with this class is really strong, especially when you start pairing it with classes like the Huntsman or the Sorcerer or the Cursed Nomad. There's so much back and forth to be able to supply your team with resources, both raw and processed. It's definitely a really fun class, and it's a good beginner level class, I would say. It's up there with the Sorcerer in terms of beginner playability. Now, the starting items are pretty simple. You start with a bronze pickaxe, a hammer, and you can go pick up a saw in the Varrock real estate house. Looking back at the feedback we received from the beta testers for Legend Survival Season 1, it's been kind of a mixed bag for the Artisan. I think initially the idea for Artisan was very strong, looking at it from a top-down perspective, but during play, this is a really grindy class, and I would recommend saving it for the player that just fully intends on going like balls deep into skilling. This is not going to be a combat class right off the bat, and it's going to be a hard grind to your first 500 total total level. That's assuming that your teammates aren't helping you by getting teleport chunks or getting any sort of mini games like Winter Tot or anything like that for you to access. So it will be difficult starting off, but the benefits of this class are massive. Again, having crafting as a main skill is super busted for Legends, because you're not going to be able to come across good jewelry and good upgrades for your team for quite a long time. Mining and smithing are pretty useful as well, because there's quite a few quests that require mining access as well as smithing access and construction access. So there's several quests out there you'll be able to just complete based off of having your main skills unlocked. As we get closer and closer to the 1.0 launch for Legend Survival, there's a couple of questions I've had in mind that have both come from player feedback as well as my own personal observation of the game mode. The main thing being the Renown token. I do think the Renown token as it stands is very strong, but one thing that we've run into is the frequency in which it's used versus the amount of tokens that you're picking up. There's at least 50 general stores in the game, and that's not including general stores that you can trade at that don't have the general store symbol. Bearing that in mind, that's at least 150 chunk unlocks for the Artisan that are just free whenever you get a general store. 150 adjacent chunks, which again sounds like a very daunting number, but I think it checks out when you start comparing it to classes like the Bard, who gets just an insane amount of chunks for free, and obviously the Cursed Nomad, which doesn't have to pay for chunks, it just gets it for free based off of its teammates map. And when you look at the Scout as well with the Orienteering token, the opportunity there is massive. So as it stands, the Renown token is really good for chunk unlock. However, as you grow closer and closer to that middle game and end game version of RuneScape, chunk unlocking is not going to be the main priority. There's going to be a lot of necessity behind completing chunks. So we will likely revisit the Renown token at some point before 1.0 launch and add another clause or potentially another ability to the Artisan to help it get rid of those excess Renown tokens. There's nothing set in stone right now, but I can give you guys an idea of what I'm looking for. I'd like to implement a way where the Renown token can be spent that will benefit the team and not just the Artisan on its own. So if we implement a way for Renown tokens to be spent in excess to help the team, I do believe that'll help balance out the token as well as make it stronger for its teammates. Again, nothing set in stone, but it's definitely fun to think about. If you have any ideas on how to make the Renown token better, or if you have any feedback on the Artisan class, definitely let me know. Be looking out for episode 6 of Legend Survival on Clum's channel. That'll be released tomorrow. That is August 29th, 2022. If you guys are interested in participating in the second beta test, we have the application open now in Discord. Go ahead and click on the Join the Discord link, either in the description or the pinned comment on this video. I appreciate everybody watching. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the Legend series. I will catch you guys next week. Have a good day.